Hello viewers and welcome to another exclusive interview on IKTV. I'm your host Edwin Andrews and with me is my good friend Petrus Gumbs and he's the director of S.T.E.M SVG. Petrus, welcome to IKTV and an exclusive interview.
Thanks for having me here. It was a pleasure. I appreciate it a lot. So basically I'm here to talk to a little bit more about the project that has been happening here in the summer at the St. Martin Secondary called S.T.E.M SVG project.
All right, S.T.E.M. What is S.T.E.M? Because when you hear S.T.E.M, you know, obviously you think, what's the first thing that comes to my mind? It's a S.T.E.M.
You're thinking of a branch or something.
Exactly. So what is S.T.E.M SVG? Well,
S.T.E.M basically stands for, the word S.T.E.M actually stands for, it actually is an acronym, Science, Technology, Engineer, and Maths. Okay. It's where you harness all the core concept of what a child or what a person will learn to show them that you can use what you learn here to do things differently. Okay. Take for instance, if you use 2 plus 2. When a child comes to the summer camp, we want to show them, okay, you could use this 2 plus 2 and create an application. Whether it be mobile, whether it be a small little interactive video game, but you can use what you're learning in school to do things new and differently. Okay. Case in point, if you remember when you go and you're learning Pythagoras theorem, when you're learning it, it's like, when am I going to use this again? Okay, or you doing the calculation for gravity. Of course, all of us know about gravity, but when are you going to apply this to something that you think will really grasp interest? Most of the time, they do that and they learn this stuff and they go to an exam, they finish that, and after that, it's also
right there. Yeah, it's just
right there. But what if I can show a participant or a child that if you can use Pythagoras theorem, even gravity and speed calculation to create a simple video game. Okay. Use that same calculation used in maths to create a simple video game, say a simple application, or use it in some way that make it more interesting and bring those concepts a little bit more relevant to them. Okay. It might last longer with them. A matter of fact, one of the kids that from last time, he grabbed on so well that he started building his own application already, which we'll hear a little bit more as we go along.
Now, you just mentioned last time. How long ago was S.T.E.M formed?
Well, it was officially launched in 2013. That was the first time we have it officially as S.T.E.M SVG project. Okay. But I did my pilot project in 2012 at the St. Martin Secondary with a group of students to find out why our kids here in St. Vincent and Grenadines, in the Caribbean, matter of fact, not producing at the same level as you would see in developed countries. Okay. I know we have kids in United States, Europe, you name them, have kids already have application on the iTunes market, have applications already on the Google Play market. Why aren't our students, our kids, producing the same kind of work? Now you might want to ask, are they less academically inclined or are they less brilliant? And really I think the answer to that is no. What I personally think is that they have not been exposed to that. Okay. Because even those kids in the United States and those developed countries for description, someone had to put the ball in their court or show them something of interest for them to grasp onto that. And then once the interest is there, they start running with it. Okay. We need to start exposing our kids to this kind of work as well.
And I guess that was the motivation.
That was the motivation with it.
Is there though an affiliation, international affiliation or umbrella body, or is this a sole initiative from St. Vincent? In
terms of relation, I have a few of my colleagues who, when I talk with them, they say, I think it's a good idea. Okay. And they are assisting in like maybe getting us equipment, getting us like some things for this, helping us to get them here, just because they want to see something different. They want to see things start happening on that level. So
S.T.E.M is basically an original inception.
Original in the sense that yes, it was brought here, and maybe the first one of its kind here. Okay. But S.T.E.M, if you look around, it's renowned. It's all around. It's in the United States because I took part in one of those S.T.E.M projects. Okay. I'm the product of one of those S.T.E.M projects. Okay. So colleges have them, high schools have them, but it's not here. Okay. You know, so we want to know why such a project or something of this nature hasn't been here as well to start getting our kids a head start in simple industry. So in terms of originality, we only tailor it or customize it to suit our kids down here.
Okay, now how difficult was it to get it across with regards to the introduction of STEM itself? Was it difficult to introduce it to the kids here?
No, it was not. I think maybe because of the approach that I took. Most of the kids who were involved initially were kids who I see like they have an incline to technology.
Okay.
But the most you will see our youths down here doing is downloading a YouTube video, doing Facebook, WhatsApping. That's technology for them. In today's world, that would even be considered IT per se. Okay? So a few of them were into the gadgets, but they don't really know how really and truly these gadgets work. So I talked to a few of them and say, how would you like me to show you to create the same application using? How would you like me to show you creating one of those? And they were like, at first they were like, they can't do it because we have that confidence problem, that challenge. You know, the confidence challenge that they didn't believe in themselves that much to really say they could step foot in that. So I say, you can, and I will show you. And if in the first try I show you, you don't believe you can do it, they will forget about it. Okay. The first try, we show them just how simple to create a simple app. A couple of them cling on to it, and that was it. They go back, talk to their classmates, show their classmate what they can do, and then the classmates start coming. So then I decided, you know what, let's give it a try. Let's try it here and see what can happen. And this brought the S.T.E.M project.
Okay, and it was launched in 2013.
Yes.
And with, if correct me if I'm wrong, that was done with a camp for kids.
Yes.
All right, tell me about that launch and how successful was this camp?
That camp was, in terms of exposure to me personally and to the kids, was beyond what I was expected. Okay, we introduced them to things like web designing, animation, and game development. We started introducing them to that in the lowest form. And we have kids who came there from across the country, different schools, different background, and they were able to build, mind you, for example, the game development class, that was supposed to be done for 2 weeks. And at the end of the 2 weeks, they were supposed to, not 2 weeks, 4 weeks, they were supposed to produce a product for me, like a simple game application for me.
When you say game, like?
Yeah, they use their phone and download it on the phone. After they don't create it on the computer, after they don't build it on the computer, then they download it onto the phone and they could make it as a simple app, you know.
And how old are these kids?
11 and 12. Well, I'm coming to the 12.
Okay. All right.
I had one 12-year-old kid. Within showing him the basics of the first 2 days in the first week. By the third day, in the second week, he brought a complete application that he was supposed to produce at the end of the camp. Okay? So when I saw that, I asked him, who taught you all this? He was like, YouTube.
So he put it to good use.
He put it to good use. You know, so you see a complete
that kickstart.
Right,
yeah,
you know?
Right.
So I was like, what do you mean YouTube? So I see what we did, and I know what I want to do. And I started Googling and see if I could see anybody else doing it. Do his research. And he said he watched over these 15 YouTube videos to get what he wants. Okay. So now we're not only seeing someone developing a skill, but we're also seeing the shifting the paradigm and the use of the internet. So he moved from using YouTube as an entertainment tool to using YouTube now as a resource to get what he wanted done. You know? And this is, at the time, he was 12 years old. I recently entered him into the international competition with all the secondary school 15 and up. He placed third with his application. Impressive. You know, so we have that kind of resource here, and it's just there. It's just passing through our system, and we're not captivating them to start showing them that, hey, what you're learning in school is actually important for the future career that you want to do. You know, and there, we, you know, in the newspaper, we consistently hear lawyers, we hear accountants, we don't hear about the programmers, we don't hear about the network administrator. These are the guys who are in the back room, you know, but they're very lucrative jobs, you know, and getting persons that see this kind of career is one of the things that I think we should start to here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and that is one of the big interests in pushing the STEM project.
What were your numbers like in the first camp?
The first camp we had 60 students.
6-0.
6-0.
Okay.
From across all different schools, different background, coming to the St. Martin Secondary, who hosts the project, to get involved into what was going on. We not only want to get them into these extracurricular classes, but we are also using different methods to deliver already existing information. Like for the maths and for the English, you know, we're accustomed to have a chalk and talk kind of philosophy in school. When you come to the STEM project, we will not be using that because we want the class to be more interactive, a different, unique experience.
So it's more hands-on.
It's more hands-on.
Okay.
So in some cases, we have animations for the kids. No teacher will be using chalk and talk. They'll be using animation to get the information across.
Okay.
You know, it is set up in such a way that after the animation is finished in the class, they are uploaded to an online system for us where the students can later go home, download it, review it, do a homework right online and report it back to the teacher right away. So even though they come and they spend like maybe 2 or 3 days in the week, when they go home, there's still work for them to do to still send back into the camp.
Question though, what about the gender among these children? You know, girls more say not too technical, and the guys will more grab for this. What was the
Well, I beg to be different there because actually the girls were actually more of the managers, if we want to give a better description to them. They have an eye for detail. Okay?
Fellas will just go out there.
Jump together, and they say, okay, unless it's someone who's very organized and he decides to really pay some attention to his work. But girls pay to the finer details.
I guess that's females in general.
pretty much. Right. They want everything well tucked away. They want special case. Like for instance, in the web and graphic design class where kids were able to design their own website and create graphics accordingly. We have one young lady who took a very long time to produce her work. But when she produced the work, it was of top notch. Okay? The colors were very well selected, the design, it was well cut because we introduced them into industry standard application. So they have to use things like Photoshop, which the professional use. So it's not a situation after they finish the camp, it's done there. It's a situation after they finish the camp, they can continue using these applications outside of the school, during school time, or able to better their lessons at school. So to tell you how good this young lady did work, I don't know if you know Mr. Magaldi Nihar, he do multi-graphics work. Right, he's one of the artists there. So the artist or professional normally comes in and work with the kids to show them, okay, what you're doing here is actually what I'm doing at my work, and show them how to do 1 or 2 tricks and so forth in the system. When he saw the work, he said, this could actually be one of their banners. Because she created a beauty salon type design for her beauty salon, her fictitious beauty salon. So that is what they were getting into. So the girls, I don't think it's safe to say the girls are less technical. They're actually as technical as the boy, but just mean a little bit more nitpicking at details. You know, so it's for boys and girls from 11 and up. So the younger we get them, even the better.
All right, apart from yourself, STEM is consists of...
we have, at the first time, we was 5 of us, including myself, teachers, 5 teachers, all having their degree up to master's, and they just want to volunteer because it's such a different project. One stated that it offered them the possibility to even use what helped them learn in terms of creativity, because in the classroom, they're so restricted to what the syllabus says, that sometimes it doesn't lend itself to employ a level of creativity into the classroom. So with this flexibility during the summer camp, they can see themselves taking them to the botanical gardens and have a class there. They can see that kind of exposure coming in. So the first time around, we had 5 teachers. One from Adelphi Secondary, I think that's your old school.
That's my former school.
Adelphi Secondary, Convent Kingstown. We have one from the RC, myself from St. Martin Secondary, another friend of mine from St. Martin Secondary. It was tough. That first time was tough because we have 60 kids, it was 5 of us, and we had to run those classes. Classes were small, yes, but it took a lot out of us. But at the same time, it was fun to see something different happening.
And what was some of the projects that came out of last year's camp?
Of last year?
That really stood out.
Okay. Last year, Some of the really interesting project that came out was kids using math to do design Kingstown. So they design a 3D model of Kingstown that they can rotate, they can check it out, they can zoom into the buildings, bakers, jacks, coats. You look at the work that they did, it looked exactly like it is in town because we sent them in town to take pictures of buildings and come back to the classroom to create these kind of applications. The 12-year-old who developed his first video application, his was very impressive because he took it, and this is the kickstart, he took it straight out of the context I was going to teach him. What he did, I used him to drag and drop, meaning if you want the guy to jump, you drag a little box and then you put in a little calculation in there and it does what it. He took it to completely moving from those drag and drop idea to actually go into the rock codes and start programming from there. Okay? So right now he's in form 2 at the moment.
So you're looking at the